Hello and welcome to Train Sim TV, and finally we are doing the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle route. It's been a long time obviously in the works to get to this point, and I'm so chuffed to be finally able to do the showcase video. As always, these are not a review of the route because myself being involved with the product, so it wouldn't be fair to do a review of something I've worked on. So there'll be loads of reviews no doubt on the old Tinterweb. So do go and find those if that is what you're seeking. But this is just mainly just me like demonstrating and just showing stuff off. So we're going to do a drive from top to bottom. So we're starting at Carlisle and we're going to run down to Preston on this Class 87, and we have got 030 Black Douglas for the pleasure of doing this one. I'm currently in photo mode, so it's a little bit jittery doing it on there, but just whilst we're doing started. So let's go and jump into the loco and get ourselves set up. So first of all, you're going to want to go into the machine room and set your PSD circuit breaker like so. So once that's done, the other thing you must do to gain any form of power is put the change end switch on. Also, if you want the extra points, pop the ADRS switch on. Like so. And we'll get some doors open. So we're working 1 Mike 20 Glasgow Central to London Euston, calling at just Lancaster on this trip. So it's not an all station stopper. There's also an 08 coming in there with some wagons. Looks like a rake of PJs. So get some markers on and the headlamp on. Instrument lights on as well. Let's get all that open. So you'll note as well, currently we have no headlight on. That's because we're in neutral. Once we put the locomotive into forward, it will then engage. Right, so on our way. I didn't want to put too much power on because it's hard to gauge where you are with the tap change when you're outside. So I didn't want to push my luck. So the first thing we'll have to contend with is the neutral section coming out of Carlisle station itself. Neutral sections are new to TSW, properly implemented as well. I think there's been some implications in the past, but it's been bodged to make it work. But this is fully implemented on the locomotive and in the actual core for TSW now, which was something that we pushed quite heavily for during the development of the route. So it was nice to see it finally come into the actual game. It was quite late on when it actually got there, but we've got it, which is a big thumbs up. So Carlisle one's quite close to the station. You've got a gradient to contend with, you've got all sorts of manner, you've got a 20-mile-an-hour restriction. So what you have to do is look out for these whiteboards. Now, there's normally a black one, but leaving Carlisle, because it's so close, there isn't one. So you've got this, that's the start. And you look for the APC magnets on the track down here. And then the other one's there. So it basically opens and closes the circuit breakers, basically. You hear the fans come back on. Once you go over that, get powered up again. When you see the blackboard, you've got a mile. You've got a mile to basically get your notch indicator back down to 0. So if you see where, on the third gauge across, you see where the needle's going up now. That's where you are on the tap changer. The 2 dials to the left, where it has the green, yellow and red, that is basically what your traction motors are doing. So at the minute it's sort of in the green, it's gone into the yellow now. You don't want to be sitting in the red zone too much, because if you do, you might just find yourself, you might just trip the locomotive like that, like so. So now we've got to wait until the taps have gone back down to 0. So we're going to put it back to off and wait. And you know when you've done a boo-boo like that, because the fault indicator light's gone red. So once that goes to 0, all you need to do is press the pan up overload reset button, and you now see that the light has gone back out, and you can now gain power once more. Basically, when you're sort of getting near the red zone, pop it back into hold and just let it find its way a little bit. Let the needle on the ammeter reading just drop down a bit, and then when it's given a bit of breathing room, run up again, add some more power. You might have to stop again for a minute just while it settles, but you'll find your way up into full power pretty soon. It's also worth noting as well that when you come to a start from the start, actually just notch on and off. Don't just stick it straight into run up, because you will blow the motors quite quick if you are watching what you're doing. So notch on and notch off a little bit just to get it going, and then when you're happily moving, start running up. Right, so Lancaster is actually 57 miles away from where we are, so we've got a long drive ahead of us, so there's all sorts to look out for and see along the way. Taking the old countryside, we'll travel over the northern fells, over Shap, and then drop down towards Oxenholme, into Lancashire, through Lancaster and down to Preston, which in total is around 90 miles altogether. It might be a little bit longer actually, to be fair. It says 56 miles, but I think that works as the crow flies in the game, so it probably will be, it should be longer. I'm just going to run it down a bit just to let the notches go back, because otherwise we're going to find ourselves we'll be speeding. We don't want to be speeding. Driving this locomotive, once you get the hang of it, it isn't that hard. Embrace it, get to know it, and get the feel for it. It takes a bit of getting used to. It's totally different from driving something with a handle and just open it up. You do have to think about where you are with your controller, where your taps are, to make sure you don't overspeed or anything like that, or underspeed. But most importantly, looking out for your neutral section board, because if you don't time that right, you'll have to wait for it to notch down, and you could be going uphill and losing quite a lot of speed. So we're currently travelling uphill now as well, so I'm going to speed limit of 85 coming up. We've got a bit of an F-bend coming up, I think it is here. just like that. It's that quick how quick you can obviously find yourself speeding. Now, at the time of this video going out, it should be available on the console, because this video is going out just after 10 o'clock in the morning. So it will be available on console, PlayStation and PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and then Xbox. So it's Xbox One, Series S and X, and then it'll come available for computer users or PC users or Steam Store, and then Epic as well later on in the day. I think it's like I've actually got the details here, so anyone's interested. Let me just I mean, if you're watching this later on after the day, obviously this will all be old news, but obviously during the day I have got some details of the actual time. So if you're watching this in the afternoon, you're waiting for it to come out on PC, it will be available on the old computers from 4 PM on Epic Games and Steam Store from 6 PM. You will also be able to buy it from the JT website. If you are a PC user, I do encourage always to purchase directly. It just helps JT out as well in that respect. Always appreciate it. Lots more power on now. We are climbing. We've got a 110 mile an hour limit now. So you get the 90 mile electrified route from Preston to Carlisle. You do also get the inclusion of the Morecambe Promenade branch, which branches off from Morecambe Junctions at Hessbank and Morecambe South Junction. It's about a 3 mile, just under 3 mile branch. It comes with 8 highly detailed stations. So stations you get is Preston, Lancaster, Carnforth, Oxenholme, Penrith and Carlisle, and then on the branch you've got Bear Lane and Morecambe. It comes with the Class 87/0 in 2 liveries, BR Blue and Intercity Executive. And in today's run we have got the striking and dashing BR Blue. It also comes with the Class 47/4 diesel locomotive in 6 liveries. We've got the Class 08 Gronk in 6 liveries, Class 101 in 2 liveries, and also 2 and 3 car variants of that. There's also with Mark 2A coaches in 2 liveries, Mark 3A coaches as well in 2 liveries. You've also then got the FFA and FJ container flat wagons, BBA steel wagons, and then you've got the NHA as well on there. So you've got the BGs, then the NHA and the Mark 1 stuff. On top of that, you get training modules covering basic operations for the 87, 08, 101 and 47/4. 5 varied scenarios, which have got some really decent scenario time lengths on them. If you like a good scenario, go and give them a blast. We've got collectibles in varied locations. There's 2 mastery challenges as well, and a number of achievements to earn. Conductor mode is also included on various rolling stock on the product. You've got route hopping between this route and Blackpool branches, so if you have both you can run between the 2 routes. At Preston there's a hopping point which you can find. You can also do the fast travel as well within the route to various locations, and also there's actually some places that are on the route that aren't actually stations. It might just be more of a point of interest that you can just zip to and watch stuff go on, or just admire the scenery and just have a nosy about. Uses a lot of compatible add-ons as well, so if you've got a lot of the BR stuff, there's a lot of stuff included for this route. In the timetable, a lot of layering, which I'll go on to the layering in a little bit when we get going. Loads of landmarks along the way as well to look out for. And then a few you've got, such as like this the Pennine Tower, which is at Forton, which is the motorway services tower, which you can see as well. Williamson Park Monument, which is the Ashton Memorial at Lancaster. You've got St Walburg's Church. You've got the iconic Loon Gorge. You've got Shap Summit, just to name a few of these places. I think it's over a 24-hour journey mode. There's actually over 24 hours, I believe. So there's a lot of journey mode to play. If you're a journey mode player. Signal boxes, again, interior signal boxes are another inclusion on this product. So you've got signal boxes at Morecambe, Bear Lane, Hesbank, Fellside, Carnforth, F&M Junction, Carnforth Station Junction, and those will have the interiors for you to have a nosy at. Currently just passing Plumpton, so this is where the loop is at Plumpton. It used to be a station here many years ago as well. Also boasted a little goods yard, which was on the right hand side here. You can sort of see where the opening where it was there. So timetable, usual gubbins on that. There's loads to do on the timetable. If you've got all the stock, you'll find you've got a really busy timetable. If you are a Gen 8 user though, do bear in mind that unfortunately, due to the complexity of the route and the length and just the sheer amount of memory usage it has, unfortunately the Gen 8 timetable only uses the Class 87 locomotive. You do still get all the rolling stock, however, but you would have to spawn that in the timetable as a free roam sort of thing if you were to use another locomotive. When Benedict did the timetable, he really tried to make it busy with other trains. It just unfortunately wasn't possible without it causing the route to fall over. It's one of them things, unfortunately, and I'm sure many people can understand, but we did try. Also, it's got a mix of conventional UK colour lights and upper quadrant semaphore signalling in conjunction with dual line operations. Just to give you that little bit of information as well. So we're not far from Penrith, we're just approaching Penrith now. So there's another neutral section coming up in a very short moment. So if we look out carefully, we'll see, and I'm already powered off, because I've powered off by accident. There will be a warning panel on the left hand side somewhere, either attached to an OHL post or on a separate signpost, which it's not. It's coming up now. So you see that sign there? That is your warning that in a mile's time you have a new section, so you need to be in a rundown. So you run down first and then you power off after. Once you've run down, it's safe to power off. That way it doesn't cause any wear and tear to the motors. There's an 80-mile-an-hour speed restriction through Penrith. So when we brake as well, you see the bars actually go back up on the ammeter. That's for the rheostatic braking. You get a little bit of notch indication as well whilst it's doing the rheostatic brake. The more brake you put on, the higher the bar goes up on the ammeter reading. And then you hear the fans kicking in as well when you do that rheostatic. Right, as we're at Penrith and we're not stopping, I'm just going to quickly show you around the station just so you get an idea of what's going on here. So, bit of a castle at the back as well. That's another one of the landmarks and points of interest that you can find on this route. If you're a regular user of Penrith, you might find that this area looks a bit different in the older area than it does like in modern world. All this is all built upon. There's warehouse and all sorts around the station, so it's massively changed, and even the station's different. It's got a modern footbridge and lift, I think it has now. So yeah, it's heavily changed, but it's still got that characteristic feel about it. And obviously, back in the steam day, it would have been other platforms here as well. I think this was used for the Keswick Cockermouth branch, which left just up in the distance there. The old canopy, a little bit worse for wear, missing a lot of panelling. You've got engineer signs at the back as well there. Of course, you can have a little look around in some of these buildings. Some are open. You may find that you can obviously go under the subway to get back up to the other side. And you may even want to go and buy yourself some plants. Apparently the plants are for sale. A 50p a plant, 2 for £1. What a bargain. You've got your waiting office area and all that as well. Adorned with some lovely photography as well. There we go. Onwards. Oxenholme will be the next station it will fly through. Just another thing on the rear static braking as well. If you actually, if you was to isolate a motor, you'll lose rear static braking, which you then will find it might be a little bit harder to stop as well. This is the junction for the Stainmore, not Stainmore, sorry, this was the Keswick Cockermouth branch that went off in the start, on the right hand side. Stainmore is a bit further up, but that was at Clifton. Just show you the route map as well, just so you guys know what's going on. It's a huge map, obviously, as you can expect. We're starting at Carlisle, and it just shows as well there's a lot to see around Carlisle, which no doubt will feature something at some point. We'll do a trip working for a video. Heading south, Penrith, just where we've just gone past here. Got the quarries at the top of Shap, like Hardendale and Harrison's and Shapbeck. And then through to Oxenholme. I'll show you some more mapping a bit as well. Right, so we're starting a little bit more of a climb again, so I'm going to get some more power back on. The old Bardic's back. You might be wondering why the horn might sound a little bit quiet when you're looking from the driver's point of view, but the horn is actually housing that up there. So the audio sort of like is up there, so when you listen to it, it does actually sort of sound above you. Quite weird. I thought the horn would sort of lower down originally, but they're not doing the actual in the front. Right, get to that bit. In there behind them grills. We've got a mixed rake of coaches here. We've got Mark 3As and an NHA. The NHA is a 110 mile/hour capable Mark 1 with new different bogies. And you'll see that it's a mixed rate because of the transitional period of the setting of the route. Now, you could actually find each time you jump into a train and a service, you'll get different liveries each time. They'll not always be the same. They always change. And you could potentially have a full matching rate. It's quite rare, but it can happen. Good suspension bobbing around at the minute as well. This is where the Stainmore branch heels off as well, just behind us. With a mixture of wonderful retro livery here. And the cool thing as well is if you see inside, you can actually see that it's got different seats maquettes in the BR blue and in the city livery. And also the carpets are a different colour as well, so you can see the red carpet in there opposed to the, I've seen that, but it's more blue carpet in the obviously the blue ones. The Buffy and obviously first as well, so there is a good mixture. Not only that is obviously the randomisation of coach liveries, but also when you pick a 87, obviously depending on what livery you pick, you'll get the correct number and nameplate associated each time, and every time it's random, you jump in. So no drive's always the same. It works the same as well with the FFA, FJ container flats. Well, those have randomised loads each time, so it won't always be the same. Some days it could be heavier, sometimes it could be less. And obviously the liveries always change around as well. Pricing as well for the product is £32.99. This is where the climb really gets going now, so we're heading up towards the quarries. So it's Shapbeck, Hardendale, and then Summit Quarry. Then we'll pass the summit, and then we'll drop down into T-Bay, then it's the Loon Gorge, before heading through Grey Rig to Oxenholme. Another landmark feature we pass quite a lot is the M6 motorway as well. So we see that at a lot of places. We pass over it, we run alongside it in a number of locations. The sounds on the 87 as well are from AP, so Armstrong Powerhouse Audio. The motors really do get going. We just passed on the M6 there. Get a bit more power now because we are slightly dropping, but we've also got another speed increase up to 95 miles per hour. Can you hear the transformer humming a bit now as well? So, Shapbeck on the right side there, which is one of the quarries. 2 or 3 of these quarries actually have electrification as well. Although in our area this one doesn't see any traffic. We couldn't find anything on any workers from that one, but Hardendale got stuff. Unless anyone happens to know any workings out of there, then by all means make us aware if there's anything in 1986 out there, but there was nothing in the timetable, sadly. Is there any opportunity for a thumbnail? That looks stunning. So photogenic, this route. Wherever you find yourself, there's always an opportunity for a screenshot. We'll go with that as an option, definitely. So there's a bit of wiring in the way there, the old mast, but I mean, the whole route's littered with them, so it's going to be quite hard to find somewhere without getting them in the way. We may use this, we may not, who knows. If you see on the thumbnail, we've decided to use it. If not, then I've gone with something else, obviously. So you see on the HUD as well, at the top right, where the signals are on the track map. A lot of signals are changing from yellow to green as you get approaching. Those are actually semi-automatics and automatic signals, which work kind of like in the track circuit. It'll know when the train's getting near. If it's clear, it'll clear. Don't worry, the hills aren't on fire. You can see some smoke, but it's actually coming from Hardendale's stacks. Passing the location of the old Strap station there as well. The old platform still survived, and the station building. There's a number of stations across the route that the building's still there, and maybe remains of bits of platforms on this route. We'll note them as we go by. You just see the loaders and stuff there. Go have an explore. You might be able to climb up that. There is some workings in there, and also a rail toilet visit, so it does get some visitors and that. But just to give you a bit of an idea what goes on in the timetable layering, so there's a development blog on the JT site which goes through some bits and bobs. I'm just trying to figure out what this is in relation to here. So it goes on like Electric Dreams, stuff to do with the 87 and stuff like that. So that uses the Mark 1 NHAs or Mark 2 and BG consists. Chop and Change utilises stuff from Northern Transpennine, Manchester Leeds add-on for the 45, BR Heavy Freight Pack for the Class 40, and also the BR Class 31 Loco add-on. Don't Trip, well, this is all to do with the trip working, so this uses a lot of stuff. So if you've got missing stuff, then you're going to miss obviously services, so it's vital that you have obviously all these to see everything if you want that full experience. Ooh, Christ, I've just apparently opened the doors. Yeah, thank you. Beep beep. So yeah, Don't Trip uses Tees Valley, Darlington, Saltburn route, West Cornwall local, Spirit of Steam, again Northern Transpennine, Blackpool branches, BR Heavy Freight, Class 31 and the Class 20 packs. So again, if you want to have a busy experience in the old ship working department at Carlisle, go and ensure that obviously you've got all those bits and pieces. Now the manual just covered it very much in full detail, should you want to find out what uses what. Gearing Up uses the Class 142, but also works alongside the Class 101, so they can work vice versa. Heavy Loads uses stuff such as Tees Valley, West Cornwall local, North Transpennine, Blackpool branches, the BR Heavy Freight, Class 31 and Class 20 again. Getting steamy is to do with steam tours, so we've got stuff like, you've got the Midday Scot, which is the Jubilee, but also if you've got the Fine Scotsman, you can use that, but you do have to have the Jubilee from Spirit of Steam for that to work. The Scotsmans are layered in that substitution, I believe. Finally, AI services, there's loads of them, so those are basic services that you can't drive, but there is a number of them, so keep your eye out. We're just heading down to T-Bay. T-Bay was once a location of a junction, a station and a motive power depot, so there was a steam shed there. The junction was to do with the Stainmore route, so again that was another junction right off the line that went off at Penrith at Clifton, and this one here they joined up together at Kirkby Stephen, I think it was. There was a junction there, an interchange station, and that line came in just over where these warehouses are, so it joined in up here, and this is where the station was. And the depot was over in the back here. Those were lost into the steam era. A nod to the past though is that the rail cottage buildings were all here, obviously, and they still stand today. We have got a neutral section, which is just around the corner. So we're going to leave ourselves into the off position. So notice when you do go over these neutral sections, these lines, so the train heat and the line light goes out and then comes back on again. Once it's come back on, good to go. Probably one of the most significant parts of the route is the Loon Gorge. Iconic Loon Gorge, with its rolling hills and fells. A few people I think got a bit confused thinking this was going to be quite a rocky mountainous area. There is a few areas where you do see a bit of rockery in the ground and stuff like that, but it's nothing like Bernina. It's not a Swiss Alp. They are literally just rolling hills, quite smooth, and nothing on them. A couple of fences or walls here and there to separate, but that is what they are. I'm going to leave this one off because it drops down the speed in a minute. Got the M6 running alongside here, which you can see the cars. If you're enjoying the drive and you're enjoying what you see, why not take a look on the website or Steam store and maybe pick up a copy. Feedback and comments are always welcome in the old chat down below. I can relay any bits and pieces that you might have found. Bug fixing and stuff like that as well, always open ears. So if you do see something that we may have missed, do let us know and we'll commit to fixing that. So we're just approaching Lowgill, so there was a junction here. This junction was for a line that went through to Ingleton and I think it was Clapham, and ended up back on the little north-western route, heading towards Skipton, I think it did. There used to be a station just on the left there, and then where the mud track is on the left hand side now, that peels away here where this embankment comes in. There was a bridge and then it over the viaduct and it swung to the left and went down the valley. I'll show you in a second. Just see over there the viaduct. I believe that was the scene for the train now departing programme, which I think was taken from this bridge basically here, and it sort of went like viewed there. It's a train that used to come out the corner, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're very vocal, these sheep. So we're leaving the fells behind us now. So we're on a bit of a climb again, but we'll be dropping away and eventually dropping down out of the Cumbria area as we get past Cardiff. Who's Beckfoot at the minute? We're coming up to Grey Rig. So, set of loops here as well, which you may well find yourself sat in at many occasions if you're doing freight. There's such a different pace from Blackpool branches as well, so it's such a total different contrast of route. But the fact, obviously, that you can do the route hopping and you can go down to Preston. Oh, I might just want to go to Blackpool and just take a service that way. It's great that you can do that. Adding so much more playability. It doesn't mean, oh, I've got to Preston, that's it. Oh, we can continue. We can go further. The routes work hand in hand, and if you've got Blackpool branches, you've got the working with the pacer as well. Which, if you like your pacer workings, it's one for you. Do definitely take a look at Blackpool branches if you haven't done before. It'll add stuff into this as well. And again, as I said, they work together. We're just approaching Lobrig, crossing the box. At this point, this box was decommissioned and closed down. The emergency crossover, and it was still stood here, but it did go quite soon after, I believe. I'm just heading over Docker Viaduct, which again might well be a nice potential shot. I do like this viaduct. It's quite, it is quite picturesque. Whether it does this, I don't quite know. But if you look down below, it's nice views. Quite tall viaduct as well. Quite mad, really. I mean, this is I did the scenery around here, and when I look back at like when I did the scenery, it weren't really that long ago. It was quite, it all ramped up quite a lot, really. The scenery. I worked up to T-Bay from Preston, and yeah, the development on this part, it was weird. It sort of like I was here 1 minute, and I was at T-Bay at the next, and it was like it happened all a bit quick. I think it was because the end was in sight. It was like we're nearly there now. Final push. Glad it's done though, and it's now available or rolling out at this point. Been a long time in the works. It was an enjoyable one to work on, to be honest. We're not far from Oxenholme. We'll be there passing through in a couple of minutes. Coming around to one of my favourite points. I mention this all the time now. This long swooping curve is Scalfwaiterig. What a name. My favourite name of the place on the route. This is where it curves right back round. So we were sort of like looking like, or coming back from the east. Now we're curving to go back south again. I'll show you on the map. This big curve, so it was like coming from the east and it swooped back round to the left on the curve and back round and down. Over in the distance over that way is like it's Kendal. in the back of these hills. Route-wise, to build to complete, it took the team 11 months. We worked out about 11 months start to finish to do all this, and that was about a month in like full hard QA testing and all that jazz. It's quite some bit of engineering and putting together in a year. I'm chuffed with what we've achieved. I'm sure the rest of the team are. Definitely urge you to do a nighttime drive as well. If you don't normally do night drives, come and do a night drive in this. It's very, very atmospheric. All the lights and stuff, all the gauges, all little, really warm feeling. So this is Home. Again, we'll do the same again. We'll just quickly have a little fly through just to have a look round. Sort the rotation out. And we FOV, just so it's not so zoomed in. There we go. So again, all explorable. You can have a wander around and go in the old ticket room. It's got its station canopy roof on the platform 3 as well. This is where services would come in and back and forth from Windermere. Just to make people aware, wonder what Windermere actually is. It doesn't come with the route. Tracks there, but there's no scenery. If you find yourself moving down that way on a train, you only get so far before it kicks you out. There's an out of bounds box, so just be aware. You can go so far, but then it will eventually boot you out. So don't be disappointed if you find that it's game over. Another neutral section. Not taking power at the minute. We're dropping downhill, so we're at speed. And again, another set of loops. There's quite a lot of loops on this route. Understandable, because there is some slow freight that runs on this route as well. Not all fast stuff. There's a mixture. We found some 45-mile-an-hour stuff as well. On the map currently, we are here, heading to Lancaster, which is here. I think we're going to be a bit late. I don't think we're going to get to Lancaster on time, but never mind. Preston's down there. So we've travelled some distance. We've done the old twisted turny bit. Straightens out a little bit now. And you'll find soon that the landscape just totally changes as we leave these hills behind. Sort of once we get past Carnforth, it really sort of like, it's not so rugged. We'll fill again. So we're currently in number 1 end. If you drive at number 2 end, you find that the taps are louder because they're at that end. Whereas on this end, the fans are louder when you brake. Just one little quirk. Just passing Hincaster Goods Shed. Was a site of a junction here as well, which took you through Sandside and on to Arnside on the Cumbrian Coast Furnace route. So there's a Furnace Peninsula, which obviously take you through to Cumbrian Coast. That was basically a line that came off from Carforth and they just joined each other again. It's a big triangle junction. It saw freight trains and I think some passenger bits and pieces as well. Utilised like the Stainmore route. Another disused station coming up now. This is Milnthorpe. Station building is still in situ on the right hand side. Not really much nod to the platform, they were sort of obliterated. There's some little bits there, but nothing much in the goods shed as well. But not much in the way of obviously platform infrastructure. Just a quick one as well. So when you come to run down, make sure, like I've just done there, just for example, don't knock it into off, because if you find you need to take more power, you've got to wait now. So that's just a demonstration for you there. Once it's off, you can put it back into motion. Yeah, 4 minutes to 11 miles. I don't think that's happened. Don't know how I'm so late. But fine, it could be on time by the time I get to Preston. It could be a bit slack in timetable. It could be a bit tight in areas. Another station coming up on the left-hand side is Burton and Holme. You see a bit of platform there, and that's the old, I think the cattle area. But then there's also the old platform there in the station building. There was other stations on the route, like when you come out of Carlisle, but some areas there was really nothing left of some. There's a few bits as well for some others. But yeah, some are gone. So that's a good number and still sort of just made its way through and survived. Again, if you're enjoying what you see, haven't done yet, why not hit subscribe, follow and all that jazz, hit your notification bells, future videos from ourselves. I really do appreciate your time, and if you've made it through this far without turning off, fantastic. Must be doing something right. Again, feedback in the comments below, or any comments and stuff like that. We're all ears. Like to hear what you guys have to say. Just approaching Carnforth now. Got the line from Settle Junction coming over the top there, so services from Leeds will come over and join that on the curve and into the station, which is just on our right hand side in the moment. Just going to back into the view again, just so you can see what's going on here. So there used to be actually platforms on this part, but they went in the steam era, so it's all through service on the main line. It's just made into a big slope. You can explore. You can come down here and have a look in there. You can use the subway. You've got the station itself, which obviously you will use. There is services that call and start and end here. Steamtown is there as well, in all detail. There's no services in there as such. It's been left empty for your use. You can make your own little open days here and use the two platforms for the demonstration lines. There's one on this side and there's one at the top end up there. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can make your own scenes. That's why we left it empty. If we filled it up with trains, you don't really be able to do much here. But you can get in and you can explore. There's a little opening over, I think here somewhere. There we are. Little gate there. Then you can wander over the car park and you can gain access somewhere. I forget where. It's over there. There's a gate here as well. This is cell side signal box as well, which is open. First time I've actually seen it here, to be honest. This was originally shut and then it's been made basically to be open. This was a signal box that came off the set on Carlisle at Sellside up the long drag. So between Horton, Ribblesdale and Ribblehead, up that long section, the climb. So it's been moved in. It's grade 2 listed. It's still here today. Actually, in modern times, I mean, it actually doesn't look in great condition these days. It's fallen to bits, which is a shame really when it's a listed structure. But it is still with us. There is actually some wagons in there. It was a wagon storage area as well at one point, so there is some wagons in there that you can move about. Or you can delete them if you wish. There's a mail train as well, waiting to join. I think the 87 joins onto it there. I'm pretty certain that mail train comes off, and then I think the diesel comes off it, and then the electric goes on. You're going to have a good explore at Cardiff. There's some really nice little features that you'll find there. I won't spoil it, let you guys find them. I look forward to seeing pictures though of what you find. Three level crossings on this route, one there at Bolton Sands, another one coming up at Hestbank, and then there was also one at Bear Lane on the Morecambe branch. We will feature the Morecambe branch on a separate video, as we're not going to be going down there on this one. There's another neutral section coming up. There are 5 or 6 altogether on the route. The very, very small amount of time you actually pass the West Coast. That is literally as much of the West Coast as actual route sees in reality. It's mad. Call it West Coast Main Line, but it's seen for about 0.1 second. Mad. Do watch your signals as well. You might find a red. So these are actually approach control signals, and they are released from reds. So these are designed to get you to slow down for a turnout for a station or a loop. There's a number of these across, so if you see a red signal, treat it as it's going to be a red. Don't just think it's going to change, because you have to be down to a certain speed for it to clear. So providing you've slowed down in to the right sort of speed it wants, the signal will clear. The first glimpse of the castle as well at Lancaster there. Castle's right down now. Yeah, the fan's really kicking in. And it's just cleared for us, so we are down to a reasonable speed, which you like. And there's the road. So down to quite a low speed there, so don't want to be going to the red zone, because that can happen at lower speeds. That's I think they call it Carlisle Viaduct. You know, it's in Lancaster. It crosses over the River Lune, which is a big body of water. Just look over there. That's where the Ashton Memorial is in the distance on the hill. You've got the Corporation Gasworks as well, just on the right hand side on the arrival. Got 5 later. Quite tricky coming into Lancaster. Both sides have got a down gradient. Going north's worse, so it can catch you out, so do be wary. You don't want to be spadding. Quick look round at Lancaster whilst we are picking up. With the usual detail, you can explore and have a wander around and cross over the bridge, up into the ticket office up here. So right, good nosy. You let me in. You won't let me in this view. So this is what I mean on departure. You want to be doing notch up, notch off, up, hold, up, hold again. and just keep gradually going until the locomotive gets momentum and starts finding its way a little bit. So when you're happy that you're in a decent amount of sort of speed, you can then put it into the run up. But at the minute, I wouldn't recommend it coming out of Lancaster because it's a 10 mile an hour speed. So I don't want to be racing out of here like a rally driver. So we're running late, like 87, just ready for departing. Holding it up. Used to be a good yard here on this side, but that went years ago. Might find there's some canal boats as well. There's a canal boat over there, look, trundling along. Whether it'll get here in time, I don't think it will, but there's one there as well. I think sadly we'll have gone past by the time that boat gets by. Now we can get some power down now. This again, it's a climb out of Lancaster. It's 1 in 94 at the minute. 75 mile an hour speed limit. Always an opportunity for a screenshot because you never know what might be useful. Almost to Preston, which is the last station on our journey. I reckon we're doing 10 minutes, I don't think so. Maybe a quarter of an hour, if we're good. The aim of the game is to keep momentum, get it moving as fast as you can, obviously, and don't blow the motors and don't overspeed. This thing's got a lot of power. So it does get moving quite quick. Just one more thing which I didn't mention before was on the notch indicator, you've got a second loco, so if you're running double-headed, you'll get an indicator of both locomotives, what they're doing. Obviously we only got one, so the second one's not doing anything. It's past an Albeck loop, again, another set of loops, there's many loops. There's only 2 sets of loops left, so and they're staggered as well, which is Albeck and not Albeck, sorry, Barton Broughton and Oxhays. Barton and Broughton is on the northbound line, and then staggered further south is Oxhays. Into my territory now, where it's my sort of local areas where if I ever come out, I'll sort of frequent areas around this part of the line up to Preston. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Thankfully it's not like the pace where it just dumps brakes on you. Passing Bay Horse, which is a station, the old building on the left and the goods shed on the right there, which is a spawnable area. And again, recommended to have a look around there. You can actually explore some areas. You might be able to find a bit. You can go for a bit of a walk, get some vantage points for some screenshots. Basically, on the map, if it's somewhere that isn't named as a station, it's an explorable area. You might find the maps and collectibles as well. It's pretty hard to stash 100 collectibles in 8 stations, so having these explorable areas was a good thing. There is an achievement to catching all 100 collectibles, so if you find them all, good luck and well done if you do. The collectibles come in the form of route maps, rail tour posters, route luggage trolleys, which are the blue trolleys, which need cleaning, like tidying up, mint cake, and modelled castles. As the route's got a number of castles on it. Mint cake, because obviously Cumbria's known for its mint cake. That's a good Barnacle. Shortly there was a junction that comes up. It used to be a line that takes you to Knott End. Long gone, but there is a nod to it. And the bridges is actually still existing where the junction was. Which I only learned whilst building this route, didn't realise it was there. I knew the junction was there, I didn't realise the bridge still existed. So if you look here, that's the where the line went down that bridge there, and headed off in that direction towards Garstang. But the evidence is well here because the track used to go under these openings. So yeah, mad that I didn't realise it was still there, and I found it looking through Google Earth, and I noticed it. And the old station was here, which was Garstang and Catterall. I'm just running down now because there's a neutral section coming up. And that is the last neutral section for the journey. Technically, in this era, the warning signs weren't there, but we thought if we didn't add them, it's a bit nasty because no one would have a clue where they were and what we do. So to have them there was the right option. I'd forget. Home sort of stretch now. Race down to Preston. These are my sort from here around here now, my sort of localist areas to get pictures. Quite recently, this next bit coming around this corner, there's a footbridge here these days, but in this area it's just a crossing. But I can understand why they got rid of the crossing, because on a bend, on a high-speed route, yeah, must have caused potentially some issues. So yeah, these days there's a bridge here, but I sort of like here it is. So I sometimes come here and take bits, or just if I'm passing by, I'll pop in and just spend half an hour there. This is at Barton Broughton Station, just by the loop. I forget it's a bit of a climb up to Preston. Not a massive one, but just a slight gradual. Got the racetrack down now as well. Passing under the M55, the motorway from Blackpool. You pass under that Blackpool branches as well, up near Wheaton, up near the box. It was around this time last year I was actually building the scenery here. And the final loop, Oxhays on the left. Literally just on the entrance to Preston now. Entrance scenery was actually done on Blackpool branches here. It just slightly had to be adapted to for use. Some of it was sort of done on the quick, but some bits got redone. Church St Walburg just ahead of us there on the right. So, little caveats. So, the timetable on this route and Blackpool branches aren't the same. Blackpool branches was a summer Saturday with specials and stuff like that, whereas this is a weekday timetable. So you may find when you hop, you'll have to wait for a train to arrive, which isn't an issue. You shouldn't be waiting too long to get a train on Blackpool branches. It's just you'll find that the timetables don't line up, so it's one of them things. If we'd have done a summer Saturday on this route, it wouldn't have been as busy going north, if you know what I mean. It would have been a bit quieter than the weekday one. Get a glance of the route hopping point as we go through the station and just show you where it is. It's at the bottom of the slope. There. So it's there on both routes. Oh god. No, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just end it there, because that's going to end up in a spad. I'm not having a spad. I'm going to get a spad. I'm not going to make that in time, but I'm not ending the video on a spad like that, so I'll just end it there. So, yeah, just ignore that. A big thanks, though, for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Like, share, subscribe, and hit your notification bell for future videos, of course. And there will be a few more videos to come of this. I've actually got something else that's going to go live on Thursday, so keep your eye out for that one. But yeah, if you like what you've seen, go and head over to either Steam, consoles on the stores like Microsoft or PlayStation, or JT's website, and maybe go and pick yourself a copy up. It is £32.99, and during the course of this video has gone out, it will become available on all the platforms, as mentioned earlier. But until next time, thank you very, very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you very soon for the next one. Don't forget Twitch as well, Mondays and Fridays, twitch.tv/streetskin_TV. Bye for now.